think we're good. Ricky, you can go ahead and unmute VJ. Perfect. All right, VJ, appreciate you giving us some time. We'll go ahead and use the raise your hand function for those of you who have questions. And let's go ahead and start with Grant Ramey, followed by Rob Lewis.
Are you aware of kind of how highly your coaches view you? Kind of
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
What do you think your biggest strength is that you bring to this basketball team?
Grant, we're going to come back to that. You had a bad connection there. We're going to go to Rob, and we'll come back to Grant.
VJ, I know in talking with you before last season, asking you about your game, you described yourself as a combo guard. And I think that you probably worked mostly at the point while you were sitting out. How do you think about yourself now? Do you feel capable of running the point? Does it feel more natural?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I had to that year sitting out for me was good. It was a struggle because it's hard to watch my teammates play and do stuff like that. But to really sit down and watch Tay and watch film of Bone and get to see Santi and those guys run the point and get to do it every day in practice helped a lot. So I feel really comfortable doing it.
And is that your primary position now? Is that where you feel like you're going to compete for most of your time?
Yeah, I think it's still a combo. I can still do both. Honestly, whatever coach asks me to do at this point, I can do it, which I feel comfortable being able to say.
Go to Mike Wilson.
Yeah, VJ, obviously a while ago since you did make the decision to come to Tennessee, but what went into you deciding to be here, and why was it something where you said, all right, I'm okay with going to this place, sitting out a year, despite kind of being used to having such a prominent role at Oregon?
To me, it was the culture. The first day I got here, seeing how hard guys were working every day, seeing how invested the coaches were in the players and the process, sitting down with G and seeing how meticulous and serious he was about guys getting better. I was kind of sold the first day I got here, really.
Go to Ryan Shumpert, followed by Rob Lewis again.
Hey, Victor. I know Coach Barnes is pretty famously hard on his point guard, and so it's a difficult position to play for him. How much do you think that full year sitting out and just getting used to him in practice will be beneficial for you this season?
A lot. Coach is definitely tough, but he just wants to get the best out of you. I've heard Bones say it a million times. He's tough, but he just wants the best out of you. And I think he's going to get it. And he's great at pulling the best out of you when he needs it. And, sitting out and just really helped me get it under my belt and learn what he wants and when he wants me to put my foot on the gas and take it off and facilitate and not facilitate and do stuff like that. So it really helps.
VJ, I can remember when you were in high school. I mean, you were a big time recruit from down in Texas, and Coach Barnes and Coach Lanier at the time both knew you and had a relationship and tried to recruit you the first time around. But obviously, this program was just kind of getting off the ground at that point in time. Were you surprised, knowing those guys? I'm sure you kind of kept up with it. Were you surprised at how quickly Rick has been able to get this going, and that it became an option for you when you wanted to leave Oregon?
Right. Well, I wasn't surprised at all to see those guys at Sweet 16 and doing well because Barnes is obviously a great coach and he knows what he's doing. But how it all came back around full circle was definitely incredible. I didn't think that I would be here, and it definitely happened fast. But I'm really blessed to be in the position I am.
And how well did you know those guys? I mean, did you go to basketball camp at Texas when you were a little kid with your mom, working there? And
yeah, I didn't go to
have a relationship.
Yeah, I didn't go to any camps, but I was always around campus. Saw Barnes a lot. I always, wanted to watch the games and see what's going on with Texas, obviously, because my mom was the coach. And I wanted to be a part of that culture and that Texas culture. And obviously Barnes is a part of that. So, keeping in touch with them was big.
VJ, I've got Grant's question from earlier. How much did you learn about the Tennessee basketball program last year going through practice and just being a part of the program on a daily basis?
Say it one more time, please.
Just talk about the things that you learned about the program last year going through it and being a part of practice every day.
Yeah, that we just go 100 every day. You can't take days off. If you take days off, you'll be behind. That's just the facts. So you got to come every single day ready to go. You can't take any days off, and you got to go 100% every time you can.
Go to Nicholas Hill, followed by Mike Wilson.
Victor, obviously this is your first season playing in the SEC after 2 years in the Pac-12. What goes into transitioning from one league into another, and just how excited are you to be playing in the SEC?
Well, I'm very excited. It's a great conference. The things that I kind of had to do was I had to get stronger. Obviously, the guys, I remember being at the Sweet 16 and watching Tennessee walk past us in a tunnel and seeing how big and strong those guys look. So getting in with G and just getting my body right to prepare for the SEC season was big for me.
Yeah, VJ, how much did you learn from watching Lamonte early last season and just learning about the way he went about the position and things that you could apply there?
So much. I watched so much film on him, and he was great at talking to me and giving me information. I think that was one of the big things was he never hid anything from me. He never, kept anything from me. Anytime I asked a question, he gave it to me to the best of his knowledge. And, I really thank him for it because he helped me a lot.
As a follow-up to the comment about the Tennessee team walking out the tunnel, who was most intimidating that you saw when they walked by?
Schofield looked pretty upset, and that's I'll probably go with Schofield. Barnes didn't look very happy either, but Barnes is always intimidating. So
that was post-game then?
Yep, they had just lost to Purdue, and we were going out to play Virginia.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Let's go to Wes and then Rob.
And Victor, I think you've sort of answered some of this already, but what were your priorities during last season? I mean, I know that a player would naturally say, I want to get better at everything I do, but what were the few things you really, really wanted to improve last year?
Understanding. I wanted to understand everything about Tennessee. I really wanted to just submerge myself in the culture and be a part of it, and just not look back. Give them all to Tennessee, and that's what I've been trying to do.
VJ, you spoke about the culture being something that really drew you to the program. What can you kind of just describe what that is in your words? What is the Tennessee basketball culture?
Hard workers. Hard workers. I mean, from the coaches to the managers to the GAs to everybody is always working and trying to help each other out, and you can feel that right when you walk in. And when I walked in, I felt it. I felt like everybody wanted to get better. Everybody had a common goal, and I really enjoyed being around that and being around it now.
VJ, I've got one more question from Grant Ramey. What do you feel is the biggest strength you bring to this team?
Being one of the older guys, I got a couple college games under my belt, and I know how it feels, and there's ups and downs. I think being one of the older guys, I can help some of the younger guys out because they're so talented. And, I think just being one of the older guys is going to help me a lot.
Wes and then Mike.
Yeah, Victor, I know that when you come to a place like Tennessee and you see the way the program's recruiting, you probably anticipate that there's going to be some competition for playing time. And, sure enough, Vescovi comes in, mid-year, a couple more 5-star guards come in this year. Just what's that competition like, and how much is that helping all of you?
Well, when you go anywhere that's good, you're going to have talented guys around you. We have a saying, iron sharpens iron. So guys are constantly trying to push each other to get better. And at the end of the day, that's all we want to do is push each other to get better. And it's easy to do that when you have guys who are so talented because it forces you to be at your best every day.
How many guys do you think are capable of kind of playing the point on this team?
A lot. I mean, all of us can handle the ball. All of us are smart guys and understand, what needs to happen. Barnes is very vocal on what he wants to happen. So it's, you're not questioning what he wants. He's very upfront with it. And as long as guys can take care of the ball, I think anybody can do it.
We'll go to Mike and back to Rob.
VJ, what have you seen early on from Keon and Jaden? I don't know what you expected from them, but have they exceeded what you kind of knew about them, and how much do you expect they're going to do day one?
I think they'll be great. From day one, those guys are very talented. There's a reason why they are where they why they're at, why they are who they are. very talented guys. They're young, fresh legs. It's always great to have fresh legs coming in as a freshman. And you can see it. They're bouncy. They're ready to go. So I'm really excited to see what they can do.
VJ, obviously there was a little, mystery as to whether Eve was going to come back or not. Now that he is back, what does that mean to this team to bring it back to SEC Defensive Player of the Year from what you've seen in practice?
Yeah, I mean, you said it, Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, that's it right there. I mean, he's such help on the defensive end, and he's building his offensive game too, to where he can be a two-way player, and he's talented. And there's a reason why he was kind of going back and forth, is because he's a beast and he can do it all. So we're very glad to have him back, and we're so much better because of it.
And just a quick follow-up, this program is so much about player development. We see guys come in and improve over the course of their career. Who have you seen in your time here that you think is going to make a big jump and maybe surprise some people from last year to this season?
I think Joe will do really well. I've seen a little difference in Joe, just how he approaches stuff and working. I think Joe will really have a good season.
Let's go to Mike.
You kind of talked about Eve there a little bit, but as he was going through that process, was it something where you guys were kind of getting in his ear a little bit, being like, hey man, you come back next year, think about what we can do, or do you just kind of leave him alone?
Well, absolutely. I mean, everybody knew how much we wanted him to come back, so you got to throw it in there a little bit. But he's still his own man, so we wanted to make his own decision for himself. And whatever he decided, we were going to be happy with him because he's a brother and we love him. So, but for him to come back, that made everybody happy.
How did you guys as a team find out he was coming back, and what was the reaction like?
I think we found out maybe before practice, and everybody was excited. I mean, there were no everybody was smiling. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was glad to have him back. We need him.
Ryan?
What do you think the potential of this team defensively is?
Great. I mean, the guards in the backcourt can guard. Obviously, we have the Defensive Player of the Year, so that does it there. Folky can guard. Folky's smart. The freshmen can guard. I can guard. Everybody can guard. So I think defensively we're going to be a really good team. Schwartz is doing a great job of talking to us and making sure we know where we're supposed to be. And he's one of the best defensive coaches in the country, I think. And I think with all that together, we're going to be one of the best defensive teams in the country.
Wes?
Yeah, Victor, I know that when you hear a lot of guys talk about the Tennessee program, and it's guys who have transferred in and guys who have signed out of high school and everything, everybody says the word culture. Everybody says it over and over again, and you said it a couple times here today. What is it about that culture that some of y'all just kind of understand?
You're going to get better. You don't have an option. Either you're going to get better or you're going to be watching. Nobody wants to be watching. So everybody's pushing everybody, and everybody wants to get better because that's the culture, and either you buy in or you won't be a part of it.
Mike Wilson?
Oh, good.
Sorry, Wes, I have a really important question. What's the team stance on Santi's new hair?
Hey, Santi can do whatever he wants. He's a player. He can do whatever he wants.
Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, VJ, I'm wondering, when you get back to the culture thing, you talk about the guys wanting to improve, but it also seems to be kind of an off the floor thing with y'all too. Is that it? Just there seems to be it's not like y'all are all the same person, but there's a personality type in this program. Would you agree with that? That y'all there seems to be a lot of the same values, basically.
Yeah, a lot of the things we do together. We eat together, we hang out together. So we have a lot of like-minded guys who have the same goal, and when you have a lot of guys who want the same thing and think the same way and do a lot of the same things together, that's how you build a culture, and that's how you start getting things going towards the right way.
Waiting on questions. Last call, everybody good? All right, fantastic. VJ, appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. Hope you all have a great weekend.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, VJ.
Thank you.
Thanks, VJ. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, VJ.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate y'all.